And before we have a race to the end, I can say that I am here. I think I'm cemented down. It's crazy. I can't sort of get to where I need to be. That's the way of things. Anyhow, welcome to this afternoon session. This is vk3sl. We're testing here on 160 and also on UHF and streaming online. We've got a new system in place for the streaming service, and I'm hoping it's working. I haven't fully tested it yet. It will all be revealed and when the log comes up, so we'll see if it's working. We've got a new sound card. The other one was doing strange things, but other things are not working here. This is what happens when you sort of enter a space after a break and crank up the gramophone. All manner of things go wrong, including the phase lock loop in the SP10. It is now just tripping out ab nauseum, so we've got no vinyl turntable, but we do have 78s, and I think that'll keep us going for the time being. So without any further ado, a record out of the box happens to be Frank Johnson and his Fabulous Dixielanders, a Melbourne group, a recording from about 1955, and an old standard, Ace in the Hole. vk3sl testing.
Full of guys who think they're mighty wise just because they know a thing or two. You can see them every day strolling up and down Broadway, telling of the wonders that they knew. There's wise guys and roosters, card shops and crap shooters. They congregate around the metropole. They wear flashy ties and collars, but where they get their dollars, they've all got an ace down in the hole. And some of them ride to the old folks at home, and there's their old ace in the hole. There's others have gals on the old tenderloin, and there's their old ace in the hole. They'll tell you of money that they've made and they spent, but they never can flash a bankroll. And they'd end up on the line in their clothes, not one dime, if they ever lost their ace in the hole.
Such a tremendous raw energy about that band. Frank Johnson and his Fabulous Dixielanders, recording made in Melbourne in the 1950s. And poor old Walker Dyer, the trombone player and the vocalist on that record, shortly after, sadly, I don't know if I should tell you this, but he perished in a car crash. Yes, one of the band members was driving back from a gig in Rosebud, and they met their fate. The car went off the road, and sadly, poor old Walker died, and so was the end of a very great early Australian band. And I've always liked their sound, and I like Walker's playing. He was a spirit, and I think his spirit lives on. Well, we are testing here on 160 UHF, and I don't know about the streaming service. I put a new sound card in. I went and did the right thing, but I don't know if it was the right thing. It seems to be, I think it's still a bit of echo mania back on the line. We'll test it comprehensively later, but if anyone wants to listen in on the streaming service and give me a report, that could be good. And we'll see what we can do next. It may be a PC-related issue, but we may have a new shack computer soon, so things are moving forward on lots of different fronts. Now, we did attend. Well, I went to a special sale this week, and I picked up a lot of XLR leads and different peripherals to fine-tune things, and a good splitter. We haven't got a proper splitter in this system, so we now have a nice distribution amplifying array, and I haven't installed it yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so, which it'll make a big difference to the multiple outlets that we need to service, and hopefully we'll all be hum-proof as well, we've been fortunate here, touch wood. Not too many problems with hum, but it's always something that I'm aware of, and doing things properly with proper distribution systems makes complete sense. Now we'll go to the playlist again and see what else. Yes, there's been a number of uploads from Mr. Atticus of late, and these are recordings of the Paul Whiteman Orchestra, a band that really resonates with me. I love this group. It's an amazing 1920s dance band on steroids. They're a huge group, and they employed a lot of great jazz musicians in their ranks. Interesting that it wasn't really a jazz band, but they were given sort of feature solos, and they were paid an absolute fortune. And their arrangements are just incredible. Great arranger, Bill Shallis, worked with Paul Whiteman in the 1920s, but these recordings, famous recordings, include a very young Bing Crosby with the Rhythm Boys, and also Bix Beiderbecke, cornet player supreme, one of the most gifted musicians of his generation, and he sort of reinvigorated popular music in his short life. I celebrate Bix every time I find a recording. I grew up with an anthology of Bix's recordings, courtesy of my art teacher at Melbourne High. He gave me a 14 LP set of all these Bix recordings, and I used to listen to them over and over and over again. And as they sort of became a part of my DNA, and hearing them all again in much better transfer is quite a nostalgic experience, and a great musical experience too, hearing these fabulous recordings. We hear a few Bix breaks, Bix solos in the midst of this performance. It's two takes of a track called My Pet, featuring the Rhythm Boys and a very young Bing Crosby. A recording going back to 1928. vk3sl testing.
Nobody but my pet. Doo-doo-doo-doo, sweet and kind. Oh, do-do, perfect gem. Oh, she got it. Do-do-do-do, she's got them. My pet told me to leave. I'm set, absolutely. So I pet with nobody but my pet. Others say, I bet there's nobody like my pet. Why pet with another? My pet pet's no other. And I pet with nobody but my pet. My pet told me cutely, I'm set, absolutely. So I pet with nobody but my pet.
It's always good to hear different takes of the same piece. We heard takes 1 and 2 of My Pet, a recording made by Paul Whiteman and his band.